Let me ask, I guess I'd ask the city attorney's office, isn't it correct that the city council may summons any member of the administrative staff to appear before us to answer questions, according to our city charter?
There's a provision in the city charter that the mayor and his staff is to provide information to the council upon request, yes.
Or direction. And so essentially the information that anybody is requesting, whether it's from the police department, from the mayor's office, or from development services, the city council has the authority to request that information or to direct that information be provided, and they must provide it, and they must show up. So I just wanted to make sure that we did have a mechanism to get these questions answered. I think Councilmember DeMaio raised a fair point, as did Councilmember Emerald. We have the ability and we have the authority. Sorry, DeMaio. Well, and Councilmember Leitner and Todd Gloria and everybody. I know it's been a long year, but the fact of the matter is we have that authority now. All we have to do, it's like we don't have to sit here and say, would someone please come participate? It's like we are the legislative branch of government and we have the opportunity and the legal right. I mean, it was voted on that we can direct that these folks show up and answer the questions and appear at these hearings. So it's not really an issue of whether they will participate. If we say they will participate, they will. I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Councilmember Fry. Any other additional comments or questions, I should say? Let's go to public comment. Thank you, and thank you for all of you who have taken the time to come down today and fill out a speaker slip. We will start with those in favor. I will, not surprising, we do have a lot of speakers on this topic, and you can tell by looking around the room, I think. I would ask you, everybody will have 3 minutes, but if somebody has stated your position or similar points before you, I would ask that you consider that when making your comments. Let's start, as I said, with those in favor, and the first speaker I have is Wendy Christakis, I believe is how you pronounce the last name. Ms. Christakis, welcome. And following Ms. Christakis will be Joshua Bilbin, and if I call your name, come on up to the front. So, Mr. Bilbin, if you could be ready to come up next, great. Thank you. You have 3 minutes. Welcome.
Thank you, Council. Like I said, I've been working on this issue for about 5 years, trying to get this on an agenda item for 4, so I am glad that we are here today. I hope that we do move forward on a vote today, and I just want to let the Council know any services I can provide as far as voluntary, being a committee member. I would be honored to represent the patient base in the city of San Diego. We need stringent guidelines that do protect patients. We do need law enforcement. I was disappointed at the Public Safety and Neighborhood Services Committee to hear that the mayor had no intentions on working with the city council on this issue, and I think that they should be here as well as the police. I think that they are an important voice in this. I just want to, offer anything that I can provide as far as information, case law, ordinances from other cities and counties. I would be more than willing to volunteer my time to make this a productive task force. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joshua Bilbin, followed by Ms. Cricket Bradford.
Good afternoon, City Council. I appreciate your time. My name is Joshua Bilbin, and here in San Diego for almost 10 years now, I've owned a bar. I own a tattoo shop. I've had a CCW to carry a concealed weapons permit. I have gone through a lot of red tape, and it's worth it. But what this council needs to do, what the city needs to do, is we need to get these regulations in place. It's as simple as that. It's turned into the Wild West out there when it comes to medical marijuana. And the problem is like all of you have seen, is that the police department's not on board, the mayor's office is not on board, and nothing's going to get accomplished. Nothing's going to go forward. You're going to turn people like myself, who am not a criminal, we're going to turn us into criminals, simple as that. I don't break the law. I stop at stop signs. I use my turn signals. But this one aspect is completely undefined here in San Diego, where across the state it has been defined. And you people do have the authority and the presence to be able to make this happen. And unfortunately, we have people in San Diego that are not willing to budge a bit on medical marijuana, and it's hurting the entire industry. The people that really need this as medication are the ones that are suffering the most. That's all I had to say, and obviously you guys can see the headaches that a person that doesn't have the clout of city council has when trying to talk to anybody in this city about how to get the proper permits, licensing, and requirements, which just don't exist. And nobody at the police department, and no offense, ladies, city's attorney office are not helpful whatsoever. So if we can get guidelines in place, get this regulated, it'll work for everybody. That's all I had to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Cricket Bradburn, followed by Claudine Scott.
Cricket Bradburn, District 2. I don't use medical marijuana. It might be helpful for me, but I don't. However, I do believe that people have the right to the proper medication. And in many cases, it is. I am impressed that the people who are pushing the most for the regulations are the patients themselves. They're not trying to get away with something. They're trying to do it right. And they're being dissed and having it thrown back in their face by their mayor. I'm sorry, he is not a monarch. He is ultimately a temporary employee of the city of San Diego with a built-in short shelf life. He is here to answer to us, to do our bidding. He is not here to just stand in the way because he doesn't want to deal with it. For him to keep this from being dealt with in a proper and adult way, in a politically proper way, is unconscionable, unacceptable, and should not be allowed. As was mentioned at the PSNS meeting, there are retired police officers that could be used as consultants. We love consultants at San Diego. Let's use some of our own. This is an important issue. It's a health issue. It's a quality of life issue. And if you think that marijuana is worse than some of the drugs they would have to take if they weren't taking that, I have a PDR with me and I'll show you what the side effects are and how addictive those drugs are. Do not let the mayor stomp his feet and stand in the way of dealing with this in a democratic way, in a proper way. The task force is essential. We need to be in compliance with the law. The patients want to be in compliance with the law, and it's time we did something about it.
Thank you, Ms. Bradburn. Claudine Scott, followed by Mark Robert Blumel, or Blumel, if I pronounced that correctly.
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Claudine Scott. I live at 1056 F Street in East Village. I'm also a member of the East Village Association. We also recently formed a business improvement district. I'm going to take it a little step further in that while the task force is doing its job, I think we should have a moratorium. We need to step back and observe how these clinics, these dispensaries, are affecting neighborhoods. East Village, downtown, we have, as all of you know, we have a high degree of homelessness, vagrancy, drug activity. I really believe that we need to, not only for downtown, but other surrounding communities, we need to take a step back, have the moratorium while the task force is studying everything, and figure out where these clinics should be held. I do respect the voters, the proposition. I think people have a right to medical marijuana should they need it. We just need to have a logical step. And on top of that, I really think it should be regulated. Every dispensary should have a conditional use permit, and that community input, they should go in front of the communities to explain why they're needed in that neighborhood. So that's pretty much what I want to say. Thanks for having this on the docket. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Robert Blumel, followed by Peggy Joy Greenfield.
Good afternoon, council members. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. The Compassionate Use Act was enacted by the California voters in 1996. It is now 2009. I would submit that the time has come for a task force, and it's